What are the patterns of a twin flame connection? Part two. Um, One of the really common patterns is what's referred to as an immediate and intense recognition. So I basically had two meetings of this person. And I can only speak to my experience of this. Upon first meeting was online, and I remember just being in awe of the knowledge this person carried. This person was so bright and shiny to me. I was just like, oh my God, I want to be this person's friend so badly. Like, it was just this thing that lit up in me. And it was really different. Like, I am somebody who has a lot of relationships in my life that do have past life connections. And I know what that feels like. I know what meeting those people feels like. It will feel like I know you from somewhere. Like, and then often I'll get a flash of the life that I know them from, or the most recent life I know them from, or a significant life I know them from, right? This was really different. I didn't get any of those flashes, and yet there was this bright and shiny familiarity and pull. And I didn't really think about it then. Like, I just thought, oh, I'm excited. This is the new person that has all this knowledge. And one of my driving forces is to learn. And I want to learn everything I can from this person. Um, but then upon physically meeting for the first time, there were a lot of things that I'm like, there were things on both ends that I'm like, we really should have understood that there was something a little bit different here, right? There were choices made on both ends that I'm just like, I don't think this is a thing that people normally do. Like, because I will say, like, from my end, having, for all intents and purposes, a complete stranger from the internet in my home for several days, like, I am the kind of person that I would not do that. I would never do that. so so the fact that I was just so like, it was never a question. It was never a question in my mind that I shouldn't do that, you know? Um so yeah, there were just these little things that I'm like, okay, but then upon physically meeting each other, it was the weirdest thing being so completely comfortable in someone's presence, and I am not comfortable around people that I am meeting for the first time. It's not a thing for me. I tend to be very uncomfortable for a while with people. Um, I may be able to mask it well, but inside I'm just like, this is giving me anxiety. But no, it was so incredibly comfortable. It was, it wasn't even like I know this person from somewhere. It was very much like, this is how it's always been. It has never been any different. That's what it felt like. I have never had that kind of comfortability with even my own family, like even my own sibling. And yet, what I pictured, what kept flashing in my mind, was us as children together. And yet, we were not children together in this life. So it was really strange. There was so many strange things. But for me, that was that recognition that something's different here. Something's a little different, but still, I didn't really question anything. Um, I didn't really think about it too much. I didn't put a lot of assessment into it. I just enjoyed the time that we had together, and it was some of the best memories I have to this day. And will probably be some of the best memories I will have for the rest of my life. Um, because I was in such a state of complete nervous system relaxation. I would venture to say I was in an almost meditative state the entire time. Um, but there were other little things that did get thrown off that are normally a part of me. So, like my sense of direction, non existent. When I am normally known as an incredible navigator, like I don't get lost, and I got us lost. Like stuff like that. Just all these subtle things. And for each pairing, there are these subtle things. There are these things that get pulled out in that meeting that really do attest to there is something else here that hasn't existed in any other connection. And a lot of times, and from what I've heard from other people too, is that they didn't immediately recognize it for what it was either. Um, and also, what I've been understanding in listening to other people's stories is that one of the people at some point denies the connection or runs from it in some way. And that's where we get this whole idea of a runner chaser dynamic. But I don't really want to go too deeply into that on this video because we're already, several minutes in. But it's very much like recognition and intensity can be very different for different people. For some people, they had this immediate, like, romantic pull. I didn't experience that. Um, for some people, it's an intellectual pull. I feel like that was more what I experienced, is this intellectual pull. For some people, it was a sexual chemistry that was completely different than anything else. I didn't experience that. Um, I Each pairing is different because the people are different. And I think when we start talking about these ideas and just lay it out like this is an across the board thing, it's going to happen the same way for everyone, I think that's discounting a lot of people's experience in these connections, because not all of these connections are going to be romantic connections. Can they be? These connections can be anything. That's the beauty of them, is they literally can be anything, but both parties have to choose it. And both parties have to choose the personal growth and healing necessary for some of those outcomes to happen. And if both parties don't choose it, it can't. There's no way it can, because there will continue to be that push and pull dynamic that happens. So it really does end up becoming a lesson in acceptance. Accepting what is, but not only that, accepting another person fully and completely, but in turn accepting the self fully and completely. And I think that's where a lot of things start to get hung up, is because everyone is, well, not everyone, but there's a lot of these ideas getting thrown around out there, like there is only one way for this to end, or two ways really. It's either you're going to be in complete separation and go your own ways, and that's it, or you're going to come into romantic union and live happily ever after, and that's it. But there's an entire spectrum of possibility there. These connections don't have to be any one thing at all, and that's really why I'm making these videos, is to help people who are in these connections, who are experiencing things that don't feel great, and trying to make sense of it. Because I think the more different kinds of experience we have representation for, then we can understand ourselves a whole lot better.